Hi guys, Shauna here from Infinity Readings. I am going to do the Capricorn female single tonight. These are some of the streams here, or not streams, some of the recordings that just the audio went on them, so I couldn't fix them, so I'm just going to shoot them out live. Okay, so again, Capricorn female single, and this will be for the winter 2018 into 2019. So I'm going to go through the love and romance areas, trying to highlight those things that may be problems, or get each you or the partner to acknowledge things that may be not working or working in the relationship. So I'm going to start off here. I got 4 rows, 5 decks, and I'm just going to start plowing through it. Okay, so in the first row is usually the characters mode, what they're in. So that'll be Capricorn female, what she's sitting in, okay? So the first card we get for her is the King of Swords. So the King of Swords in this deck, I always like to call him the guy that is not happy. He don't look too happy. In fact, he looks somewhat crabby. And he's got his sword at his side, justifying that there is truth here that he has heard, come from, or had to sacrifice for. But nonetheless, he has been through the mill here. So, yeah, the king. Yeah, and he's at the top of the branch here. So he's got it all, but he may have lost something in the process, the sense I'm getting. Second card is the High Priestess. High Priestess, about the intuition. I feel like the intuition's wanting to go forward to her, but there's something she's not wanting to hear. It's really because, that king is standing forward and the intuition's coming at him. He's not paying attention. So there's something here, and I feel like it's in a love-related kind of way that she needs to listen to, she's not paying attention for, okay? The next card I get is the Page of Swords. So it's interesting. I feel like that is about, yeah, that's about communications. Okay, I feel like this king, the mode, and again, these are her energies. I feel like the mode she's in, symbolized by a male here, she is in a mode where she has had to cut something away, okay? It's a sense of, I haven't even looked at these cards yet, so, but she's cutting away. She's listening to her instinct here. May or may not be doing this, but this page really talks to me about communication and arguments, no less, and looking into things, right? And this guy here talks about silence. I'm done my job. So we're starting off with like kind of being in a mode of having had a catastrophe here, some kind of I don't feel like it's a blowout. I feel like we just left something or cut something away, and now we're silent. And I feel like we're taking our intuitions flowing, not necessarily taking it in. And this was before, when we were communicating, trying to get to the bottom of things, and there's really no answers. I feel like we felt we were being lied to, or we were running in circles. Something here was not right, okay? So the last card to end the character of the Capricorn female is the Lovers. So this is the subject, right? So this is what we're talking about. We have a situation here. It's all over the place, but we have our intuition here. So we'll see where that takes us as we go deeper, because each line goes deeper into the problem areas or anything that needs to be highlighted, okay? So I go across ways into the cards, and then I go vertical and horizontal. Okay, so the first card on the second row, here's the 9 of Cups. And the 9 of Cups is about wishes and dreams and hopes fulfilled. Sorry, my lighting is really, can't help it. Anyways, pretty card, but you can't see. Anyway, a woman here amongst the cards, and she almost looks as if she's sad, but the 9 of Cups is about wishes and dreams fulfilled, okay? So the next card is about the Ace of Wands. I feel like we may have had some wishes dashed, is what's going on here. So now we're thinking about, we may have not had a clear line of, how do you say, what's the word? We did not manifest properly here. We had someone come into our lives when we didn't know what we wanted. And I feel like we are now, because of this cutting away of whatever happened here for the Capricorn female. And this is the single, right? So we're in betwixt, we're in between things. Whatever happened here has really set her on a mode where now she is going to lay down the law. She is going to make sure that she knows the traits, the qualities that she wants in the next partner. And I feel like that's what this card is about. She is going to start thinking about what she truly does want. She didn't think about that in the past, and it kind of came in her field, and then it got dealt with, right? So the Ace of Wands, right? That's about action, movement, things that create action to move us forward. And if we're talking about dreams and hopes and wishes, and this is, action. So we're going to start taking action in the areas where we are more prepared to go. What is the word I'm looking for? Not manifest. When you think about something and you plan it out, that's what I'm talking about. She's going to start to do that in an action-oriented way. She's going to get it in her head. You know what? I don't want a guy that lies to me. I don't want a guy that does this, that, and the other. And she's going to lay it all out. And then it's going to end up something she can take action towards. Something's going to show up for her that she can take action in that way, is what I'm getting. Because we're just not thinking properly, not sitting down and kind of booking it in, putting like that wish list, right, for the male or for the partner, whatever, making a wish list kind of thing. Now, the Ace of Wands is about the action she can move forward with. Page of Cups is about the love that she wants to offer. Now I gotta look at this a little bit. Yeah. It's interesting because this scenario I got in the first line there, and we may have had a stint here where we've been single for a bit. So that may be the remedy here. I'm trying to match the energies up because it's like we cut something away here and we had a hard time doing it, but we did it nonetheless. And now she's like really, I'm getting a sense of freedom with her emotions. So there must have been either a stint of time here that has passed or just not a deep connection where we just truly let it go and drop the bag and away we went, like that was it. So there's something here where she is truly free to go forward in a loving kind of way. And I feel like she wants to offer that. I don't know that there's a mate here yet coming because we got the Nine of Pentacles. Now the Nine of Pentacles is a good card to have when you're single because it means you're appreciating this time. You are happy that you are single, maybe a little overly so, right? Not nailed down, that kind of thing. But the Nine of Pentacles, sorry about the glare, guys. I thought I had it figured out. The Nine of Pentacles, she's there in her garden and taking everything in, right? And I feel like there's a gasp of relief here. Like, I'm fine. Don't mess with me. But yet she really is truly ready to go outward, but not pushing to do so. Okay. That's what I'm getting here. So we're taking into account more thoughtfully what we want in a partner as we go forward. So we know and we can take action when we see it, is what I'm getting. Just taking a conscious effort to do that forward. Okay. So next line. Now we get into the Norman as it breaks through to the love and sex side. That's kind of the general. Romantic. We have 44. 44 is about looking, it's the magnifying glass, looking deeper into things, right? And this is what I do feel she is doing. She is trying to look deeper. Sorry, my stomach. She's trying to look deeper into how she create or what she's doing in these relationships. She's trying to be more, and my words are gone. She's trying to be more mindful of the process here. we're just kind of getting flung by things that are thrown around in front of us, and then we go off in that direction without a conscious effort of what we want or don't want. We just kind of get flung with things. So now she's taking a closer look here to not do that again, because that's what she's finding here is the problem. I'm just going with the flow a little too quickly, and it's not helping me. I'm getting strung up on things here I'm not appreciating, right? So it's taking this time to look into that. The next card I get is 17. Now, when we're talking about being single, this card is, I have to mention, it's the stork. So the stork delivers, right? So we may have a sense here of being aware of that in our energy field or someone else's, a baby's being born. But for the most part, I feel like this may even talk about a move or a promotion, okay? And it may not be, or it may be just like a increase of the money at work, money flow at work. Maybe not a promotion per se, but a significant raise, okay? But it's a good silver lining. And I feel like this woman, as she's been in her single mode, like that release feeling is very prominent in her field. And I feel like, a lot of opportunities are flowing because of that. I feel like she was very repressed when she was in relationships or any in the past. She was very, like, she couldn't be herself. So now she's just, like, glad that's over. And that's the sense I'm getting here. And not only does that help her in her personal life, but also everywhere as well, like work and things opening up for her. She may even be moving. Okay. So the next card I get is 43, which is the labyrinth or the maze. And it talks about being confused. Just give me a moment here. Okay, there may be some, this may apply for some. There may be some people here that are being offered a job in a different area, like a different place, or something that is more than just a shuffle here. Like we really have to change some of our lifestyles. So I feel like there's a back and forth, like not knowing what to do here. That might apply for some. Like we're getting, or something to do with traveling within work, or could be to another post, like like having like we're a manager and then we have to go out and train other managers or things like this of this nature, where suddenly our job description is changed, and not only are we not sitting behind a desk, we're out going doing stuff that's not completely different, things that we know how to do. I get a high sense of that, but we have to go out to do it. So we're kind of confused and running back and forth. I feel like on a decision, like we may have time here to make the decision, but we're kind of, it's exciting, but we're nervous. Okay. That's the sense I'm getting. Okay. The next card is 28. So this is the waiting man. Now, let me key in here because I'm trying to find out if this guy is connected to her yet or not. Usually the waiting man is someone that is probably not in your field as of yet. And if he is, he's very much in the background. You're not even on your radar. I'm going to have to go a little deeper here to figure that out. Okay. So there is a man in your future here. He's waiting to be receptive to you and you to him. And we need to look a little deeper to see that. They're going, yeah, this man is around, but it's not in her periphery. So he's very much background stuff. So may not even know really who he is or that he is coming in our direction. And that may be on both ends here. You got to remember this is over the winter. So November, December, January, February. This covers a lot of time. And this is near the end of the row here. So keep that in mind. Might be more in the springtime. But we'll move forward. Okay, so we are into the romance here. First card I get is the Page of Cups. I love this little bugger because he's always getting into trouble. Oh, you can't even see him. He's always getting into trouble. Why? Because he is mischievous, manipulative, and immature. But he always goes towards the love nonetheless. He just has some rules he's got to figure out before he does so. in a partnership kind of way. This is like, what do you call that? The serial single, right? He just keeps hopping. And he doesn't really take into account anybody's feelings along the way, which is interesting because he's an emotional dude. He's supposed to learn this as he goes, but this is at the beginning process. So and the next card we get is the 10 of Swords. So in this deck, the 10 of Swords is very much about a secret admirer type thing. Now, this is, yeah, very much someone who either may be younger than you in age, I'm getting, that is fond of you, but not yet willing, not gutsy enough yet to come forth and say so. And I feel like he doesn't feel worthy either. He knows that this is above his pay grade type thing. You know what I mean? He knows this is above, yeah, this is above him. But he's crushing nonetheless, in a way. Not crushing, it's a little harsh, but he's thinking, right? Thinking, and it's in thought processes. Next card I get is the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is about harsh truths, right? And that may be something that this male is, it's interesting they're following him right the way through. So this may be something that comes to bear here, because I'm getting that if you knew, I was giving a reading the other day like this, if you knew who this was, it could be quite shocking who is actually thinking about you. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to go to the next card. The next card is the 3 of Cups. Sorry. Okay. So we have a situation here. I feel like this is a dude's energy, but here I'm getting, I don't know where that kind of splits. Like, I feel like, really what I'm getting here is that you're in single mode. This dude that's in your future is in single mode. And guess what? You know, there's mingling. Now, this is the, this card here is the brothel card, I call it. This guy's going in, he's going to get pleased, and he walks out. No baggage, nothing. We're no depth. We're not looking for depth here. So that's what this card is all about. And that's harsh truth, right? So we have a man here that has, I feel like both of you have that in your field, the ability to tap into that. So I feel like too, this card here is about looking deeper. We got to start forming relationships that are more meaningful, right? That's what they said. More meaningful. I was going to go into the depth here, but they said, no, it has to mean something, or otherwise, why are we there? That's what they said. Why are we there if it does not mean anything? We are wasting time. We have to invest, learn something, and then if we can't learn anything, we get out. And I feel like there's just a dabbling here on the lighter area that is just not, like both these people are going to be in it. So I feel like that's the waiting partner, is kind of one of those intermingling things, okay, that may be a situation that lasts a little longer. But nonetheless, so that's the scenario here on the romance side. So we're dabbling in and we're taking all this stuff into account. Now, on the sex side, interestingly enough, we get the 8 of Pentacles. It's funny. Contradicts what I just said. Well, it doesn't really. It's saying there's a man here that is offering a rose and the woman is just disinterested. She'd rather have tea. Thank you. So the 8 is about disinterest in the physical side. So this is leading me to believe more into the male that's holding the whole sexual passion thing. Next card is the Wheel. So that's about things that change, right? So we may be feeling like this now, or even into Christmas, but we may be flipping gears here after Christmas, okay? So be aware of that. I mean, things like that change, right? And you may just have an interest level here that you're just not willing to invest physically. That may be the deal, and that can change as well as time goes on. Next card we get is the 3 of Wands. So that signifies to me, if you look at the ties here on the legs, signifies we have a mate here of some sort. Soulmate, whatever you want to call it. Past life thing. somebody here we feel a little bit deeper connection with, and this is interesting. Now, either for that page that was coming in or for you, if we have a deeper connection, that is built there so that we can learn our lessons forward. Because if we do not feel a connection to anyone, we won't learn anything and we won't want to learn anything because there's nothing driving us forward. So this is what's coming in for the Capricorn female. So if you're feeling like, geez, I don't get anything that just stirs the soul, guess what? It's coming. Okay. Now, the last card we get on the romance side is the Hanged Man. So that talks about pauses, right? Hold off. Wait a minute. That kind of thing. And I'm going to go, like I've gone through horizontally the cards, I'm going to go through vertically and we'll figure out exactly what each of these cards means once we do that. So there's an interesting scenario here. I do get that the female is being a little more choosy. I feel like that energy of the brothel there may not quite be hers to own it, like the page is owning it, but I feel like she's in the mix, but she is looking for something deeper. That's why she's not that kind of thing. And it's coming. That's the sense I get. It's coming at the latter end, like in the new year, I'm thinking for sure. Okay. So I'm going to take the first card of every row and break it down here, and we'll get down to exactly what's going on. Okay. King of Swords. So that's, you know, an energy field here of not being impressed, to say the least, about, and I feel like it's about her love life, yet I feel like she's happy. I feel like she's kind of grumpy and angry about the situations, but she's happy that she's single. Okay, if that makes sense. It'll make sense to her because she's feeling it. It's like, why did I have to go through that? Why, you know, these kind of things. But yet now she's single and she's okay with it. Better than okay. She's in the grind, I think. The next card is the Nine of Cups. And it's this phase of being angry that's brought her to a degree where she's going to start looking more deeply, right? At her wishes, what does she want? How does she want to carry it out? What does she want coming at her, and what will she accept and what won't she accept in a relationship? I feel like her hopes and dreams, she's really starting to gather all of that in one suitcase and organize it and go through it and really think, what is it that I do want in a partner? Because this is getting ridiculous. I keep getting that for some of these females. This is getting ridiculous. But it's because it is because we have not organized all the thoughts together. We have not sat down, organized what we want. It is kind of like homework. And if we leave it all up in the air and in just question marks, we're going to get question marks. And that's what just flew by. Right? So that's what's going on here. They're trying to nail you down to get a list made, you know, even if it's mentally, especially if it's mentally, that's how it goes. Next card is 44. So that's it. We're looking deeper into our dreams of what we want for a mate, because this is very important. Didn't realize how important it was until we got frustrated with it, right? So as we move past, it's like we're going to look deeper, and then along comes a page. Now, this may be, now that I'm going through this line, this may be someone that gets in the midst, right? That is a little immature, maybe a tester energy. Could be that. Because I get a sense of this guy just kind of floating through the breeze, right? So it just may be someone on your radar here. But nonetheless, there is someone I feel of younger or youthful energy, no less. And then we end up on the sex side with the 8. So we may be refusing, you know, we may have someone come in. And because we have laid out these rules, right? Because we have sat ourselves down, the essence I'm getting here is she's sitting herself down and she's making a list and checking it twice. And she's going to go over, and I like this and I don't like that. And I like this and I don't like that. And guess what? This guy ain't fitting. There's one guy that's going to get in the mix here in a social situation, and it's not fitting. Buddy, you don't pass. So off you go, right? So I feel like that's a scenario that's going to hit her before Christmas. On this side of Christmas is going to hit her with some, what do you call that? frivolous stuff. It's not going to pass go here. Okay. So there is going to be one in the mix here, kind of. And I don't know, maybe it's that guy that's spying. We'll see. That's kind of going to come forth and show his cards. And she's going to go, man, I don't play cards. Done with cards. So that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. So the next line, the first card we get is the High Priestess. So this is talking about her intuition, which she's starting to, I think she's had all along, whether she's listening to it or not, I don't know. The next card we get is action. So the Ace of Wands is that fiery action. So from here, she is going to take it forward. Okay. And I feel like she's not done that in the past. She's not done it. But I think at this point, she's getting so fed up. She's like, I got to try something different. That's really what it is, kind of spin the dice. And suddenly the universe is getting their say. And she's going to tap onto it because she's just, what I'm doing ain't working. So I got to try something different. So next. And it's the instinct that she's tapping into here. At some point, I think she was naturally, right, because they're in our sign, they're naturally grounded to things universally. They can follow it and not realize they're following it. They don't know what they're following. They're just going with flow. And when you're not conscious of it, you don't realize where you went right or wrong, right? So this is what's going on. So now she's just spinning the wheel and trying something different and seeing where it's going to get her. And she's going to take action in that way. And Capricorns aren't scared to do that, right? So intuition, action, and then 17. And then look what happens. We get some good stuff here. And I feel like this can really encompass a lot for the Capricorn female. I mean, again, this talks about babies, talks about movement, talks about promotions, talks about really good things, life-changing things that can happen along the path here. And it's not a minor thing. It's a major thing that's going to come across her path. And it is something that, because she has followed this path, right? Because she's listening, tuning into her instinct, listening. I think she's always listened, again, not acted. Now she's going to act, and guess what? Good things are going to come. So then the next card that we get into the romance here is the Ten of Swords. Okay, here's where they separate it. Yeah, no, this young dude, he's just going to pop up out of nowhere. This guy is, yeah, this is a new dude here. Just give me a minute. Yeah, he's someone that's in the, like they said, in the background, but not, he's going to come forth here eventually. I think very slow mode he's going to be in this one. And then we get into the wheel. Yeah. And that's about things that happen for fateful reasons. So there's a relationship coming. I don't feel at this point, one, you'd be able to pinpoint who it could be, or two, that you'd even know who it was. Some may not even know this person, and others may know them, but they would never think of them because they're just not in their energy zone at this point. But fate is coming here to bring the two years together. So this is interesting. Okay. Now the third line, we start with a Page of Swords, and that was that energy of, like I said, I felt from a past energy of dealing with a lot of argument and quarreling was the energy I got from this. And like how he's holding his sword in defense, right? And getting ready to cut. But not only that, I felt like there was secrets and spies and things going on in that way, where we were saying a lot more than we did when we were closer to ending the relationship, or it ending, whatever happened there. So nonetheless, that's kind of the chaotic energy I'm getting from there. It's almost like a Five of Swords. But anyway, then the Page of Cups comes along. And it's like we have to go through this, right? We have to go through that energy of really dealing with, I feel like it's talking. Like we have to talk it out with our friends or something to get it out. And then we have the Page of Cups, which is, being ready to open up again. And also having an interest level, right? So we may be up until, just before Christmas-ish, where we're getting in a mode here. We're a little more open to men coming our way, and that's the sense I get here. It's okay. Sit down, I'll talk to you, that kind of thing. Not that bad, actually. It's fairly open. So she's getting ready to get into that mode to start getting back on track again with the energies of a partner. And then we have 43, which is confusion. So we may have a little bit yet that we have to process here, but nonetheless, I don't feel it being too heavy from the last relationship. Baggage, a little bit. Then we have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is about truths, harsh truths being told outward. So we may be this to new opportunities coming forward. So watch for that. Maybe a little bit harsh towards people coming in the future. Or we're getting mixed messages here from people that are in our zone, right? If we're kind of in the dating pool, waves are going around. We don't know what the hell's going on most days. So we may be in a little bit of confusion in that way where we're in the dating cycle, trying to figure out what's what here. And that may be where that page comes in, right? Because we're getting some interest here, but this guy's really not. There is no depth here. It's purely physical or just lightly dabbling and away he goes. That's it. So on the love side, we get the Three of Wands, and that's the foreboding. I say foreboding in a bad way, but the future that we do have a karmically, well, maybe not karmic as much as a huge magnetic pull, right? Towards someone that we haven't had this before. So that is really going to step our lesson learning up. We're going to put up with a lot more from this partner. Not that we're going to have to. I feel like we're really going to want to be there. But whatever challenges come in the way are those that we need to learn to move forward. Because I feel like this partner is there to do that, to advance her. Because it's in everybody's path. This is just the energy that's moving through here. The fall into the spring, man. Lot of magnetic pulls for relationships coming forward. It's just the way it is. We're getting ones that aren't working, we're busting them apart, and ones that are supposed to be together, we're pulling them together. So we may have a lot of mix smashing here, so be careful. But again, you can't warn everybody of it because you may have people cheating, and they may be cheating with the one they're supposed to be with, and universally, which is hard to, as long as I don't know, it's above board anyway. But I feel this is above board. She's single and dating on his end, not getting much on his end, other than we're going to be highly attracted. Okay. So the last line here, tie it all up. We get the Lovers. Okay. So that's what we're talking about. And that's the connection, the good. We end here on the sex side telling us that we got a strong pull here, and we got a heart-centered union, and this, I'm saying the sun is shining on it, but the universe is going, this is what we need to move forward. Nine of Pentacles. So I feel like that's challenge. This is going to be a challenge for you, though not much. They're going, not that much. That's what they said to me. But nonetheless, to get out of your single zone, okay, because there is a high enjoyment, and there's no coincidence here that we're attracting a good magnetic partner after we've come out of being happily single. This is the way it goes universally. So that's what's going on here. So we have the Lovers here, but there's a sense here that we were really gaining ground, being happy. Okay, and that's the thing. I felt like the Capricorn female, man, she just was not herself in a relationship. So hopefully that sticks with this one. Okay. And there he is. Look at him sitting there waiting, going, this one. I'm looking at her and she's not looking at him. So that's a hint as to she's looking at the lovers. She's wanting to get into that, but she's not aware of him. He may be aware of her before she's aware of him, right? So he's going to be looking on her, and I feel like he may even be an earth sign himself with some fire in his chart to push him forward. But at the same time, I feel like he's looking upon her. No, he's an earth. Yeah, because he's just not going to make a move until she kind of goes like this, looks to the back of the bus. Then he'll start, hey, when we move past this dude, interestingly enough, we get the brothel, the brothel card on the romance side. So, and I feel like both of you may be in more surfacey relationships. I think that's a symbol of what that means to me, to you, is that we may be dipping into, because we're single, right? And we may be dipping into things that are just not worthy on a certain level. Okay. And then we end up with the hangman. So be aware that you may get caught up in a few lighter romances here before you get into this dude here with the waiting. Because I feel like, because the essence I'm getting here is the singleness is going to last a little longer than they're going. Once he comes out of the woodwork, it won't be long. Like he'll lead her in there. But I feel like there may be, and it may be just dating, you may be just happily dating a few people and going through the motions, but nothing really of any depth, really. This doesn't have to be cheap. It's just talking that we're just dealing with sex here. We're really not looking for anything more. And the hangman is talking about time, right? You're going to hang here for a little bit. So this guy, again, this kind of connects to the fact, because he's there and he's looking at her, but he ain't touching her. And that's kind of the sense I get here. He's looking at her and she's looking away. So there may be some distractions here in the meantime that get her kind of caught up in other directions. But this guy's kind of watching, overlooking. I get a sense after Christmas, this guy's he's locked on her. He knows her and he's got an energy connection to her, though she may not even be aware of it then. But maybe they meet at a New Year's party. I don't know, something like that. But he's going to be checking her out, not aggressively, but very passively, actually, is what I feel. But just, wherever he can see her or meet up with her, he's going to watch. So, yeah. So an interesting vibe for the Capricorn female. She's going through the singleness with, I'm feeling very relaxed, very much like I had said before, there's kind of an unhinging here of her getting away from being like she felt burdened by a relationship in the past. And I feel there's going to be a span of time here where we just didn't have anything. Sorry, Burp wanted to come out there. So that's kind of symbolizing that. And then, yeah, coming up after, I'm feeling definitely after Christmas, it's like there's an energy switch here up to November. And then over December, the energies flip. I don't know. I'm not a, what do you call that, astrologer, but there's probably something flipping over into the new year. And I feel like into March, where we get going on this new energy forward. So over that time from December to March, I feel like this is going to be in the periphery for her. And she's going to feel a strong tie. So, and I'll tell you from what I know, usually they'll put them in there so that we learn our lessons, right? And, some people say, I don't want to make it sound bad, but it's like that'll lock you in where you learn lessons that you wouldn't learn with anybody else, because you'll put up with a lot more, because there's more of a magnetic attraction, but that's all part of advancement, right? And then the wheel. So there's some faded stuff coming for sure. Someone that is looking over you over this time. But again, I don't feel it's in the periphery at this point. And then some advancements, maybe even in career or just movement. your life pattern, definitely a big change, like a life change. So that may hinge on whether you meet this person or not as well. You're feeling very action oriented and listening to your instinct. I feel like you're rolling the dice in that way and going, well, this didn't work, so I gotta flip gears. And that's what you land on is instinct. And in the meantime, you'll probably have, be lightly dating someone here that just doesn't interest you in the bedroom. There's not enough there. But, and I feel like that's on both ends. We're kind of together, and it's just kind of, I feel like he's wanting the physical side of things. And I think you're getting in there and going, yeah, I don't really want that either. So it's kind of like we just get to stumble upon something that doesn't really stick anyway. So while we're doing this, that creates that energy of needing to look deeper because there's things here that are just not, why am I not getting anything, right? So we have to look to our hopes and dreams and figure out what it is we truly want so we can mentally snapshot that and then send it off to the universe. Then they can deliver, right? So when we know what we want, we know what we don't want, and we can refuse it more quickly and move forward to the ones that match, right? And then the King of Swords is the mode she starts this season off with, right? King of Swords is all about kind of being grumpy about the past. And I feel like it's directly about the past because we're talking the present. She's actually quite happy, but she's in a mode where she's thinking about bad things that are happening or have happened in the past and not quite getting over it. But there's not a lot of baggage. But we're just being bitchy and bringing it up in our field, right? It's kind of like going to the bottom of a creek and stirring up all the mud. That's what she's doing in her energy field. But it's not like she's really attached to it. She can, if she stopped talking about it, it'd lift. But she just keeps bringing it up. So it's kind of I think a habit or some kind of a character flaw where she's kind of bringing it up. She doesn't realize how much damage it's doing to her energy zone, is the sense I'm getting. So that is the Capricorn female single for the winter 2018. I'm in Canada here, so November, December, January, February. I'm going to come out with, hopefully by February, if I'm on my toes, with the love and sex for February. And we'll see what's shaking at that time. Hopefully we're into we should be close to our new patterns by then for those, because a lot of these mates, right? That's the energy that's breaking apart. We're going to be over the February, March. It was supposed to happen in the fall here. This period of time is supposed to be done. It's supposed to be in the relationships and getting happy. And they're going, no, we're behind. These people are not moving. They're staying where they're not supposed to be. So we got to start shifting them around. So it's going to be a little harder letting go of things, I guess. But if this helped you, let me know. Give a like or subscribe, whatever. And hopefully it helps somebody. I think it will. But I think she's actually fairly content. She's just yapping in a negative way because it's a habit for her. So over the winter, take it easy. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that. I'll tell you a bit. I'll be hitting YouTube live here soon next month. So keep an eye out, and I will be doing micro reads for anyone who shows up. I'll go for about approximately an hour, and we'll see what we can accomplish. So in the meantime, take care, you guys. Have fun and be kind.